Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today I've got my hands on a Milwaukee M18 VC2 wet dry vac. We're going to give it a review, an unboxing, and find out if it's worth the money and is it good for cleaning stains off the interior of seats. So stay tuned, we're going to unbox it and find out what we've got. It arrived like this. I have opened the end just to make sure all the bits are in there. Let's go through the box. So it's 7.5 litres of liquid it holds. Some of these I don't really understand, but it looks quite interesting. That might be to do with the suction power. It does say it's wet and dry, so that's good. 4.5 kilograms. Which, depending on most people who are mobile valeters will be in vans, so that shouldn't make any difference. What you want to bear in mind is if you're lugging this around and it's full of water and you're in someone's car, it can get heavy, because if you can probably have about 7.5 litres of water on top of the 4.5 kilograms, it can get heavy. It's got a filter and some attachments. You can buy the bare bodies of these on eBay and things like that, but it won't come with any attachments, so they're just more replacing. You can buy the attachments separately, but they also are quite expensive, so you do better getting it all in one. Anything on the back? No, you got a nice detailed picture of it there. Apart from that, there isn't really anything else on the box. Oh look, hang on, you got a list of all the other gadgets you can buy as well. You can peruse that in your own time, but it's just the whole Milwaukee M18 range. All right, let's open up what we've got. So I did open it up. See, nicely sealed with glue. I bought this off Amazon. It came 2 days later, which is really handy. One thing let me just put this down. I don't have my stand with me, so I'm just going to have to cut this and edit. 1 second. Okay, so I did open it the wrong end. Let's see what you got. So, get a manual. Nothing but heavy duty. I like that. Milwaukee products are really good quality. I'll go into that in a minute, but this plastic, this is kind of that... You've got that as well. This plastic, as you can see here, this is what it is. As you see, I opened it upside down, so I can imagine all those bits inside are falling out. This plastic is a really strong plastic. Now, with Milwaukee batteries, they are really strong. I mean, you can drop them from a certain height and they won't crack or shatter. The cheap ones you buy are made of a really weak plastic. So there is a difference in quality in plastic. This feels like I can throw it down some stairs or at someone and it won't break. Right, let's have a look. Right, this is the air intake blower. Maybe it can blow as well as suck. What do we got here? Usual bits, you can peruse that in your own time. Let's get to the fun stuff. Let's open it up. I mean, it looks great. It's good size. I mean, I've got fairly big hands, so I thought this was going to be a lot bigger, and it's smaller, which is great, because I don't have a lot of room to work with. Nice heavy-duty clips. Hopefully you can all see this. And it opens up like this. Ooh. So it does have that kind of cheap toy feel, but this is just because this is rattling around in it. This is an adapter which goes on the end of here. Right, let's start with the nozzle. This is like a Henry Hoover. I mean, they extend. I mean, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to push this off, aren't I? Well, that extends. It's a good system. You're going to hold it in one hand and nozzle it up with the other, hoover up with the other. That's fine. I don't know how long that goes. I'll come back to that later. So that all wraps around nicely. Let's see what attachments we got. So we've got the We've got the crevice tool with Milwaukee branding on here. That's to get in all the... I'm coming at this from the point of cleaning cars. So if you have interior you want cleaned, you might have to replace the words I use with one suitable for your craft, but you will use this for cleaning vehicles. So, nice crevice tool to get under around the seats, up in the footwell, all that fun. We'll get into that later. This is the attachment which goes on the end. Hopefully, you can use Henry Hoover attachments on it. I don't see why you can't, but knowing Milwaukee, they've probably made it so we can only use its devices, which is understandable. So, we've got crevice tool, adapter. And what is this? This is the, what's it called? The nozzle, which is for specific water. As you see, it's encased, it's enclosed around here to stop, essentially stop water from escaping when you push down. So as you hoover up, it will suck water up. But if there's any holes or anything like that, it will reduce the suction power. So it's got a nice feel, good quality again. It's not cheap. It's definitely that kind of nice, thick, sturdy stuff. Like I said, you could probably drop this multiple times and it will not break. So let's fingers crossed on that one. All right, where else are we going? We're going to go into here. One-handed again. This is why I should really go and get my camera stand. But of course, is there one at the back? Oh, right, there's one at the back as well. So anyway, this is where you read the instructions. But I'm a man, and I don't read the instructions at all. I just go straight in. Okay, so this is the water. What's it called? This is the tray that holds the water. This is the filter you get on here, and this is all the bits. A little bit of dust there because I did use it to clean some bits earlier. There you go. So this is the filter. This will come off. This will twist off. You can replace the filter and wash it. But other than that, this is just the interior working. So this will sit in here. You empty this out. You empty this bit out when you're done. Drain out the water. One-handed again. Push that all back in. Plant falls over. I'm going to the pub in a minute, so I don't care. So we can click this back in. Right. I'm working this out as we go. This was some nozzly around here. All the bits I dropped goes here. Right, the battery goes in here. Let me get a battery and see how much noise this thing makes. Right, so this is one of those cheap, unofficial Milwaukee batteries you get on Amazon. Now, my views on these are twofold. One, they are cheaper, and it is a roll of the dice of quality and how much power you get. They are half the price of Milwaukee batteries. They are cheaper plastic, which means if you drop this, which I'm not going to do, it'll probably break. The plastic will shatter and probably do damage to the batteries. It doesn't have the same build qualities, and also, as I said, it's a roll of the dice of whether you get a good quality batteries. Look at the reviews on Amazon. You want to get ones with over 500 reviews, and they're the ones you trust. And also, you want to go higher as possible. But this doesn't even say what it is. This is a 6. What are they called? Ohms, whatever it is. It's not written on here, but yeah, there you go. So it's 6. Now I don't know what the MAH is, but we all know what we mean. It's kind of like the longevity of the batteries. This is 6, and it's really hard to test whether this has enough voltage or power to last for what it says. It's a Chinese product, G-Link. Then they might have a good reputation, but I don't know. But I've never had a problem. I only have a problem with these batteries when I drop them on the floor or get water in them. So bear that in mind. So let's push it in. Oh, right, now what do we do? Let's close it and hoover up some stuff. All these are done. Clippy. Clippy. Oh, come on. Is that clipped in? Ah! Okay, there we go. And then, is there one on the back? Yes. Alright. What should we clean up? Well, I've kind of invaded the cat's throne. So let's try and do some cleaning around here. Oh, I should have put the plastic bits inside, shouldn't I? Oh well. Let's put the camera up. Well, let's turn it on, see what noise we got. Well, that's a lot of power. This is right. That's probably about the same noise as an actual Hoover you get. These are quite loud, but that is a good sign. It means it's generating a lot of sake. One thing I've noticed with this, before we go out and clean anything, I noticed that if you put the battery in and all your other bits away, there's no room for this attachment. I mean, you could stick it down there, but no, you can't stick it down there. Unless you get the really thin batteries, you can't stick this anywhere. I mean, can you leave it on the end? I mean, this is not very practical, but something I haven't thought about is where to store this when. Does that work? Can I do that? I mean, it doesn't feel right, but okay. That does work, but it doesn't feel like that should have gone there. Nevertheless, let's clip it all up. Right, we're good. And let's feel, right, this is, about 5 kilograms. It feels solid. Let's go out and clean some stuff, both wet and dry, and find out if this is worth the money. So just to go over a few things, with a Milwaukee wet dry vac, I'm going to go through the Hoover aspect before we go into the wet dry vac aspect. Some things I found while using this thing is super powerful, right? Let's give this a go. I mean, it makes a bit of a racket, and this is just with the crevice tool. Back forward, back forward. Now give it, this is a newer car, so the carpet is pretty in good condition, but this gets everything. I've been using a Dyson V8 and a V10 to clean the car, and this thing has, I reckon, about double the suction for such a simple device. It's a bit noisy, whether you can hear me or not. Yeah, but there are a few little issues. Mainly, where do you put it? Because I have to, if I put it here, oops, and this comes off every now and then, but that could just be me not putting it in properly. There we go, kind of erotic. If I push this in, this works with this car. I can get all in here for it being here. If I have to go further than that, this starts stretching and I get resistance, and it might get to a point where I can't reach far enough. So you pick it up, put it in, and then you can hoover up. Another thing is, if you want to stop for any reason and maybe move something, you turn it off here, and then you let go of this, and this thing kind of just whips off. It kind of, there's no holder, like a kind of a resting place, like a holster that I can use. It just seems to, I got to let go of it, do something over here, and this thing starts, well, it starts kind of doing this, starts moving, and fall off. But it could just be me, but it's a bit cumbersome. It's a bit clunky. Whoops, and that's come undone. That could just be me. But it works. I can get it all around here, all around there. It's a lot better than the Dyson V10, because I can come in like this and then turn this and go all the way down there. Things you can't do with a handheld vacuum cleaner is to do that. But so far, I'm really impressed. Bear in mind, this isn't advertised as solely as a vacuum cleaner, so the attachments that you get with it, being this and this isn't totally good for hoovering on its own, which is why you do get the Milwaukee attachment to come with it, and you can attach it, which I found, to the Dyson adapter, which I haven't played with yet. I'll get to it later. You will have to get that crevice tool, not the crevice tool, this thing, with the the kind of grippy padding around it, usually in a different colour like pink or red, specifically for interior cleaning. But it has come with the attachment to do that, so you will have to buy a few more bits, but we haven't got there yet. Just give you an update. Another thing to bear in mind, this crevice tool is very short. To get down here, it stops there, and this is a 4x4. I have to come in this way, which is fine, but not all the time you can get through that way. So if you are going to get an attachment set, make sure it comes with a larger crevice tool. You want about double the size. This is about 5 inches. Try and get about 8 to 10 just to get down these places, because you won't always get them. You have to get a brush and flick it all out, and nobody wants to be doing that. So just another thing to bear in mind. Right, so I went on eBay and I bought this. This is a see-through or transparent filter. There you go, let me spin this around so you can see. It's a filter for, not filter, what is it? What is it? It's the nozzle. It's a nozzle for the wet dry vac. It's see-through, and it has a smaller, what's it called? I've got a smaller inlet, so it generates more power. And these little metal bars allows you to go forward and back rather than just one drag. So let's see how we get on with it. Lovely, this thing is great. I highly recommend it. I'll put the link in the description.
but it works like an absolute charm. It's really more therapeutic of seeing the gunk going up the nozzle rather than the one it comes with. Let me show you. This one. This is the one that comes with. The problem with this is not only can't you see what's going up, this little ridge on the outside means you can't really go back and forward as easy. You really have to drag it. You have to drag it because it kind of grips. So it's not bad, and it's too big. This thing is massive. I mean, look, I've got big hands, and yet it gives you an idea of how big that is. If it's that big, then you're going to get stuck, right? So if you're trying to use this on a chair, and you hit like a corner like that, all the suction just goes immediately because it creates the vacuum then stops working. So the smaller the suction is, the inlet is, the better job you can do, because it won't be overhanging. Say I was getting to the edge of this, as you can see, it'll just stop working. So you want to get a nice small one. I'll experiment with a few more and see what I find. So after using the Milwaukee wet dry vac now for about 2 months, let's conclude I really like this. This is so much better, both wet dry vac and vacuum, that I've used for cleaning cars. There are a few things. I'll go for the negatives first, and we'll go for the positives. So the negatives are the attachments. We'll have to go and buy some more attachments. There's a whole host of them out there. They work on a 32mm radius. So you can pretty much just go to Amazon, and they're really cheap as well. I've lost this because it's just, I'm just clumsy, and I haven't lost that. That's somewhere else. But so the negatives are, where should we start? So first of all, there isn't adjustable power. So every time you turn this on, it's at full whack. So whatever battery you put, it's just going to go full hog, and there's no way to go for a lighter clean or a heavy clean. It just maintains the same. So another button in there would be really handy. Just to let you know, I use a
a 12 AH battery. These are quite rare. You can find them on Amazon and eBay. They fit in there quite nicely. Then later, first thing is the filter, which goes underneath. As soon as you get that wet, that's pretty much game over for that filter. I threw my filter away after the first thing I cleaned because it just stopped working. The suction just disappeared. So don't worry about the filter. It still works without the filter. It'll still operate perfectly fine. It just will spew wet out there a little bit, not too much. But I never bring this in the vehicle anyway, so I'm usually fine. Negatives. I'm trying to think of negatives because most of this is really positive. It needs attachments that you can hold on the outside. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. It all seems very durable. No, that's a positive. You know, I'm just going to go for positives now, and if I think of anyone, I'll add them later. Positives. Love it. Suction is incredible. I mean, this is a 12-volt battery. This can do 12 AH battery. This thing will go for about 3 cars. So 2 of these, that's your whole day set. You can fit any attachments on it. The power is super strong. It can use all the adapters. I've got one you can use for the Dyson, which you just attach onto there. Then you can add all the Dyson attachments on it as well. It's very light, it's portable. The plastic is really strong, and it sucks up water like no man's business. You can really just absorb and remove a lot of water off seats because of how powerful it is. As far after 2 months, apart from the filter is the only thing I had a problem with. I just took the filter off and threw it away because it didn't seem to make any difference. Just make sure you don't use the filter with water. Take the filter off and then put it back on if you're just doing dry stuff, and it'll last for a pretty long time. But they're only 10 quid, so you can replace them quite quickly. So overall, I really like this. This is going in my vehicle. I'm going to hang on to this for as long as possible because it's just a simple design. It's just a vacuum unit and a battery, and no bits that can snap off or break or just cost you more money. It's incredibly durable. I like it. I recommend getting one. So like and subscribe to my channel for some more reviews. Take care.